Let's study the fourth type of constructor, move constructor. We have already studied default constructor, parameterized constructor and copy constructor. What is this move constructor? It's an another type of copy constructor, we can say, right? A move constructor is a special type of constructor that is used to create a new object from an already existing object of same type. Okay, it is used to create a new object from already existing object of same type, right? But instead of making a copy of it, like we do in copy constructor, instead of making a copy of it, it makes the new object point to already existing object in the memory. That's what in your RAM space, if there are variables o1.a and o1.b, object o1.a 10, object o1.b 20, right? When you create a new object obj2, right, instead of making a copy like we do in copy constructor, it makes the new object point to the already existing object in the memory. So this location becomes o2.a, this location even this o2.a and b will point to the same memory, leaving the source object in a valid but unspecified state. After making this reference, we will just ignore them, we will just make them unspecified. Okay, they will be valid but unspecified state, right? Unlike copy constructors that work with L value references, unlike copy constructor that work with L value references, means what is that? And copy semantics, what is that? Copy semantics means copying the actual data of the object into another object. See, we are writing no object 2 of object 1 of object 1, we are writing it like this in the copy constructor. I will just go back to the copy constructor program what we have seen, right? See here, explicitly we are writing definition for copy constructor. How are we writing? See, student S2 of S1, S2 object of S1. What is happening here? I'm that is getting created here. See, you are copying all those values. Object 1 dot name dot roll number is copied into object 2. Object 1 dot name is copied into object 2 dot name. Object 1 dot fee is copied into object 2 dot fee, right? So here we are copying the content of object 1 into object 2, right? But here in the move constructor, right, unlike copy constructor, the move constructor transfers the ownership of already existing object to the new object without making a copy. See, I have transferred, no? Previously object 1 was having control. Object 1 was having the control over this memory block. But now that control has been shifted to object 2. That is what move constructor does. Why are we doing this? When the values are same 10 and 20, why do I need to allocate double memory like in copy constructor? Why do we have to have multiple location, multiple values? Same value 10 and 20 but multiple variables. Object 1 dot a, object 1 dot b, object 2 dot a, object 2 dot b. If I create object 3 dot a, object 3 dot b, unnecessarily we are creating multiple copies of the same values. To avoid that, you can use move constructor where the original object values, the original object will be erased and those will be assigned to the new object. That is the use of this move constructor. Okay, what is the syntax of this move constructor? See, class name, because constructor we have to give class name, then in round bracket we have to give class name double ampersand object obj, double ampersand obj. What is this obj? Obj is the object 1, the one which I want to delete. Object 1 means the one which I want to delete. So I can write data equal to object dot data and object dot data equal to none pointer. See what I am doing here, maybe this class name is the class. Okay, I am having C1, I am having C1 and C2, right? I am having C1 and C2. Okay, so C1, first I will have C1. Let me assign, there is only one value 10. With this, what is happening? C1 of variable C1 of dot data is containing 10. Now I'll write like this, class name of class name, same thing like this, class name double ampersand obj. Then what is this data? This data is referring to class S2, object S2, or here it is C2, no? C1 means C2. C2 dot data, you are writing the meaning of this statement, data equal to object data means C2 dot data equal to C1 dot data. Okay, it's kind of copying only. Okay, I copied, assume I copied it, but I am I am writing here C1 dot data, I am making it as null. I am making it as null, right? So that's what we said in definition, right? Leaving the source object in a valid but unspecified state. This is valid only like this, but unspecified. It is not assigned to anything, right? With this, what is advantage? Memory is not allocated. Memory is not allocated. Again, you will understand this syntax much better when we see an example. Indirectly, we are using move assignment operator. We are using move assignment operator here in the move constructor. Okay, so let's see the example. Let's try to see an example to understand this move constructor. Program may be complex here. I'll try to make it simple. This is just an example. Multiple things are included in this. See, we will start. There is a class, my class. There is a variable, pointer variable, int star data. Okay, this information is enough. We will see the remaining part. I have a class that is my class, and I'm having a private data member, but it is not a normal variable. So I cannot use constructor. What I have to use? I have to use initializer list. Okay, so I create an object, my class obj110. My class, I am creating object 1 and I am passing 10. So there should be a parameterized constructor which is written using the help of initializer list. See here, yeah, we have it. My class int value colon data, the name of the actual variable of new int value. So this is assigning the default value to a private data member using initializer list. Why? Because we cannot do that using constructor. So I wrote that. This is very clear and simple, right? I have used here the initializer list concept to allocate, to assign some value to this pointer variable, right? Actually, it is not assigning value here. This 10 is an integer number. It is stored in some memory block. Let that be 100. That 100 is assigned in this data. So data will contain the address. Why? Because it's a pointer variable. Because it's a pointer variable. Now you see here, my class object 2, the new object, I am creating new object, object 2 is equal to, this is not required, okay, my class object 2 is equal to move. There is a default function in C++, move of object 1, What it will do here, once you write this, the object 1 reference will be pointing to object 2. Object 2 will be pointing to object 1. Wherever in the memory location object 1 is referring, that will be referred by object 2 now. Okay, so when I write this move object, then this class, this particular statement will be executed. What is this statement? My class, again class name double ampersand another. It is just a pointer. It's just a pointer. Other. No except is a keyword which we have to use. No except colon. Why colon? I am using initializer list. Data, that is the actual data of other dot data. This object dot data. Okay. After writing this, what is happening with this? With this line, what is happening? The object 1 dot data, whatever it is containing, that will be this will be pointed out by object 2 dot data. Then inside that I am writing other dot data equal to null pointer. It means that object 1 I am nullifying it. Okay, so again I have done a copy constructor also. This is just to demonstrate how copy constructor and move constructor both works, how to write the syntax. that is given here. Okay, so again I will repeat this program. We will ignore this part for now, that is not required. Okay, see the simple thing. I am having a class, my class. It has a pointer variable data. When there is a pointer variable, we cannot assign using our constructor. We have to go for initializer list. We have to go for initializer list. So I wrote my class object1 of 10. So using this initializer list function, using these two lines, I am assigning the value to the variable, this private variable, using this one statement and this initializer list concept. Then I want to delete the object1 reference and give the control to object2. For that I am writing class name object2 is equal to move function of object1. When you write like this, automatically this default, it is again a constructor, kind of a constructor. What is that constructor? Move constructor. When you write move of object1, then this default move constructor will be executed. What it is doing? It is creating a other. It means object1 becomes other now here. Why? I am passing object1, no. So other becomes object1. Okay. No except data other dot data. So in the data object2 dot data, I am actually referencing the 10. What is 10 again? Object1 dot data, that I am referring it. After that, why? How is that being done? How is this value being done? See, initializer value. See, initializer list. I have kept colon. I have kept the private variable name, and I have included the actual temporary variable name. Using this initializer list, the object1's data is being referred by object2. Inside that function, I wrote one statement, other dot data equal to null. Actually, null pointer is the old version. You have to use null. Other dot data equal to null. With this, what is happening? Object1 is pointing to null now. It is not referred to anything. We are nullifying that. Okay, so in that RAM, this will be it will not be specified to any particular location. Object2 will have the control of object1. Okay, so again, when we execute programs step by step by saying initializer value, initializer list, by saying this move, you will understand it much better. So this is about the move constructor in C++, right? We will try to see when the move constructor has to be used, right? So move constructors moves the resources in the heap, unlike copy constructor, which copies the data of existing and assigning to the new object. That's what a copy constructor will create more memory, right, unnecessarily, whereas this move constructor will simply allocate the memory in the heap. Okay, and it will not copy the content. It will just refer to the copied values, right? Move constructor prevents unnecessarily copying data into the memory. Object1 dot A contains 10, object1 dot B contains 20. Instead of copying these two again into object2 dot A, object2 dot B, we are doing it without copying. We are just referring to the same values. Okay, this increases the performance of the program by avoiding the overhead of unnecessary copying. Unnecessarily copying that, it improves the performance of the program, right? See, work of move constructor looks a bit like default member-wise copy constructor. It is like same again copying the constructor only, but in this case it nulls out the pointer of the temporary object. It means the original object obj1 is nullified. That is the only change we are seeing this in the move constructor. Okay, if we summarize what we have seen about move constructor, it's a special type of constructor. Instead of copying the values of another object into a new memory location, we are not copying it, we are deleting the old object, we are pointing the new object to the existing values. Okay, so for that we use the move assignment operator. Using move, we can, when you write this move of object1, by default this constructor will be executed, which will copy the content, not copy, but it will refer the object1 values by the object2, and we are nullifying the object1 here, right? So this is how the move constructor works in C++.